Oh, it's this level. Heh heh heh. Welcome back to Game Wolf Plays Duke Nukem 3D. It's time to get a little really seedy. You thought it was seedy before. This is the seediest level. The seediest level. Don't worry, it's not too crazy. I don't think I've ever played a video game that was a straight up hardcore porn, by the by. There are... such things exist, though. I've never been in those circles, but they exist, trust me. They just do. Good luck finding them. That's on you, man. Da 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 da. I am the best fucker on the planet because I like to do things for fun, and that's pretty much all I do. Sure, maybe it gets lonely sometimes, but you know, it is worth it. Now that I have like a flow going on. Oh, that funky flow. That funky flow. Welcome to Triple X, Stacy, as an XX ecstasy. Yeah, so XXX Stacy. That's right. Although, what about Stacy's mom? Does she indeed have it going on? I guess I'll never know. What about 1985? What about that song? Am I bowling for soup yet? No? Okay, good. I can't believe that's stuck in my head now. That's terrible. Alright. So we're heading in. We're going inside to the seediest place. Although a lot of this level is less that and more weird outside shenanigans too. So, okay. I don't know what that's going to be like, but... shit is dark here. Gotta go in through the back alley. Oh, okay. This is a, this is where they film the pornos. Ah. So, it's seedy in a different sense, and more of like, you know, people gotta express themselves. This is where they print all the stuff, I guess. It's like their magazines, or VHS, or... I don't know.
Come get some.
Who threw those bombs in the trash? Were they not good sexual toys? Is that what was going on? Sister Act 4, making Whoopi. Get it? Because Whoopi Goldberg. Ha ha ha! At least I think that's what we were going for. Yeah. Well, scantily clad woman is par for the course in Duke Nukem Land. So, I don't need to go into more of that. I mean, explain why that's the thing in this game you should know by now. Especially if you're watching this far in my LP series. How the hell did you get here? That's impressive, man. I'm not trying to look down on myself. I'm just saying...
Thank me. Oh, yeah.
Restricted area.
Party. Wish I had time.
Well, you don't.
You wouldn't shoot a lady, would ya?
And
you
some,
and what army?
Some butch
you wouldn't
dominatrix.
Shoot a lady, would ya?
Okay.
Wanna dance?
They don't want to dance, Duke. Oh yeah, don't bother. If you shoot the two ladies, there will be octobrains, I'm pretty sure. But if you shoot the dominatrix, which, by the way, it takes a while to do, I don't think any spawn. So, take from that as you will. Anyway, don't. You don't really need to. It's just there to be a scene. I'm surprised they even give you that option anyway. Especially since I couldn't shoot the babes of the Caribbean. Not like I needed to. Like I didn't want to, but there were some enemies nearby that could have made me do it. Ah! Well, there's a... I guess... Oh, where we have storage.
Groovy.
Oh, hey, there's a freezer in the box. It's the freezer box! Of course! Why didn't I think of that? Because you're lame. I know. I'm lame, Duke. Oh, yeah. I should see what's up with that lame Duke stuff, because there's a lot of different content in there. Might be worth looking over, even though it's not really a full game in a sense. It'd be like Star Fox 2, where you just release it, even though it's clearly not complete. Or like, you know what Lame Duke is like? Lame Duke is like when they did that Giga Leak, Nintendo something on back, and you showed like the beta of Yoshi's Island. It was like a completely different experience. That's what Lame Duke is. It's a completely different experience of that beta style, but in Duke Nukem 3D. It just feels really weird. This is kind of incredible, though. I have to wonder what they did with all that extra stuff, considering it was running. So it's like such a vastly different thing. Like it's not like so much of a, like it's It's a prototype, yes, but those are shrink arrays, and there's no reason to go down there.
Suck it down. Go to Zuckerberg.
Hello, train of thought. Where did you go? Nowhere. That's okay. This happens sometimes in Gaming with Lamb. Well, there's a comedy club up here. For some reason. And, alright. Sure. But wait till you see what the name of it is, huh? Because it's so hilarious. Which leads me into another joke I'm going to make. Boners! No, but really, the Funny Boner Comedy Club. Yeah, that would have been a good time to put in a random Duke Nukem quote, and they didn't. Oh well. Like I said, ever since that thing with the K-tit thing, I thought they would have done that with 2 of these levels, and they didn't! I'm upset. They ruined my game. That's cool. Dun, 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 dun. Why am I out? So check this out. If I shoot through this window, there's explosives in there. Boom! The see-through wall that I knew beforehand had explosives in it, so I'm just blowing them from out here to keep myself safe. Although I could have gone in there and threw a grenade and come back out. So, yeah. Now, whether that meant I destroyed the toilet or not is for you to decide. But yeah, that thing with the boners is like, I was just reminded of like, oh my god, this was bomb. Anyway, I'm just reminded of what boner used to mean. As in, it's like an old-timey word like gay that means something completely different now. But it was just meant to be like, you know, related to like, you know, a joke or a foul-up specifically. Like, oh, I've gotten myself into such a boner now. Or something like that. Somehow over time that I got associated with erections. I don't know the history of that word, but it'd be interesting to read about. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just decide to watch Die Hard 2 in like 10 years.
Come get some.
It's okay. I make up for my lack of film watching with lots of this. That's where where does all the time go? It goes here. That and trying to de-stress from life. I've gotten really good at it. Although now I want to thrive. I don't want to just survive, so I'll work on that. I've been very stabilized this year. Actually, oddly enough, somehow I felt better since last year, despite everything. That's just timing. It has less to do with, you know, pandemic stuff people are going through. Wherever that's going. I don't know by what time you're watching this video how that's going. But, like, this medication I needed, it was really helping me. It's like imagine you're blind and you're able to see for the first time. That's what that felt like. It was just like, wow, a thing I never knew was part of me. You know, how to medicate. Like, it's pretty profound. I'm not really gonna explain what it is because it's very personal. Like, I'll explain some of my other medical problems. So this one's probably this is extreme, which probably kind of gives it away, kind of what it could be. But no, for real, I'm not in the habit of just spilling the meanings on things like that. But in private, I'll probably tell you. So don't worry about it. If you need to know this, I don't talk about this stuff. But what I will say is, as a result, I have stabilized like none before. My personality improved, or rather, not my personality improved, but I'm less moody, we'll say. I can still have moods, but now they're more in my control. That's part of that. That's not the whole story, though. You know, I just want to feel what I thought myself was. And not nobody else, but the real me. Whatever that means.
Blow it out your ass.
You know, going through all that made me think I had low energy, that I kind of want to just go full throttle into doing as much of YouTube content as possible. That was the point I was trying to make. We'll keep it going. Yes. If I miss some of your stuff that you're making, it's because I'm so focused on doing my stuff because I feel like I'm so good at it. Why would I stop? I don't want to. It's so good. It feels like a meaning. I found a meaning in this YouTube shit. But now even more so, because now I'm doing it in a way I should have been doing it the whole time. I feel like I have it all figured out now in terms exclusive, I don't think I'll have to ever change it for like 50 years even. Unless YouTube dies, then we're all screwed. But that's, I doubt that's going to happen. By the time it does, I think we'll have a way out. I don't think our videos are going to die necessarily. At least not the ones that got banished due to community violations. I mean, like, I think my stuff will be saved in a time capsule, I'm sure. Maybe I should try to back them up somewhere, like in other places. I'm thinking about that. The trouble with that is you'll just come up with the same problem, which is what everyone's doing. Imagine you have YouTube, right? Now, everyone backs up all their videos in multiple iterations. YouTube as a whole is already a big storage device, and doing that multiple times over is just going to put stress on, like, the global stockpile of data servers and stuff. So that's why the redundancies are only in keeping the thing running, as opposed to having several copies of everyone's videos everywhere, right? And that's a problem, and that's not something someone wants to dismantle, because it's just essential that it is there, despite any changes being made to YouTube as a whole. So why am I talking about that? Because I want to make sure my channel sticks around, that's why. There we go. Explained myself enough. I think the real question you should be asking is, why'd I die? It's alright. I lost some progress. No, the real question I should be asking is, why do I keep doing these weird vlog tangents? I don't really want to. I just do it. I should be talking about the game. It makes me wonder how I did that shit with Wolfenstein 3D the whole time. I just kind of did. So shoot that guy in the face. I'm sure I'm gonna work, like, I don't want that to keep being a thing with vlog tangents. I'm gonna try to keep those down for the time being. I think what happened was I wanted to explain something going on in my love of gaming, and it got way offhand. But it keeps happening. Just like a bad habit. It's just hard to get rid of. Maybe I'll do it someday. I think I'm going to. Although that won't stop me from doing that if I'm ever live streaming. Then we can go back into that shit. But then maybe people are vlogging in their LPs. I don't know. Yeah. Really, I could say whatever I wanted without it even relating to the game. That some people do. I know I've done that. And now I understand why. It's to keep the words going. Plus, the gameplay should be able to speak for itself, but since it can't in terms of YouTube's guidelines, that's why I'm speaking. There we go. The circle is complete. So is that circle. I'll come back for that scuba suit after I'm finished with the level. Just because I'm starting to get to a point where I should try to max out my scuba suit when possible. It'll make sense soon. Or will it make sense? Maybe it'll never make sense. Maybe there's nothing you can do about this. Wait, there's one last dude. It's Commander. He's hiding in the end there. Squish. Alright, now we're going to go back for the scuba suit. And then we're going to exit. Let's clean up. Ooh, what a mess that I'm cleaning up.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to Bing.com, baby. Wait, what? Yeah. Does anyone use that? No, really. Cola.com. Oh, wow. You know what I just remembered? What was it, like CokeMusic.com? Something I did in middle school, along with, like, what, Neopets and fucking RuneScape and some other thing I'm not remembering right now. Middle school times. Yeah, it's like some kind of... Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Coke Music reminds me of what people did with Habbo. Like, Coke Music was my Habbo Hotel, let's put it that way. I didn't really get into Habbo Hotel, even though I understand how that works. But, yeah, there was this thing called Coke Music, I think. And it's like...
Hail to the
It's
king,
really
baby.
2000s Amy MySpace kind of aesthetic. It's really showing my age, but... Yeah. It's kind of the online MTV experience, so to speak. I don't know. I suppose people do that sort of thing now, but it turns out I never actually cared for it. I just thought it was interesting because I was interacting with people within that context. So my earliest online experience with other people was what made it interesting. The thing itself is not actually that interesting. Just like with Club Penguin. If they brought that back, I don't know. But I didn't do that either, but I know about it. And that feels like something I could have done in middle school if I had known about it. Plus, Newgrounds. Even though that's made a huge comeback, huh? Although, really, there wasn't a comeback. It was always there. We've just been ignoring it because we had YouTube. But because of the way animation is not so profitable on YouTube, I think that's why people have been bringing it back to Newgrounds, even though Newgrounds kind of has to remain a Flash animation thing. Which is weird given how Flash stayed out of browsers, so I wonder how they dealt with that. I think they just had their own custom players, like how Homestar Runner's doing it. Or something. I really need to go back and watch Homestar Runner, actually. Even though they have a YouTube channel, I'd rather just go to see when they fix up their website and just go through all their shit, because apparently they're doing new content, so good for those guys, right? See you next time when I don't talk about Homestar Runner and play some more Duke Nukem 3D, duh!